We are live. How many do we have with us? 7 people already. That's the one thing. That's the one good thing about scheduling live streams is there's already people there waiting on you, and you don't look stupid sitting there talking to yourself. Who do we have in here today with us? I know one person has already text messaged me, said they got me on the big screen and got the popcorn popped, and they was waiting on me. I was 4 minutes late. I'm sorry.
Greg is with us.
Hi, Greg. Glad to have you with us. We got Nelson with IP Farms with us. I should have worn my hat today. He sent me a hat.
Oh, he did.
He sent you a letter. I got to get it to you for you to read. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And got Butterbean Farmer. He's a regular. Philip. Jordan. He's a regular. And Ag Wild checking in, but can't stay long. Well, we appreciate each and every one of y'all being there. I hope y'all stay with us throughout the live stream and into our premiere that we are having. We got Matt and Kelly here. Doug Bone, I guess I was saying that right, said it snowed in North Carolina. Well, it snowed here today. We didn't get near the snow that they predicted. Normally, when they blow it up big and say we're going to have a huge snow, we don't get near what they say we're going to get. Like at the back of the first of the week, they was calling for like 8 inches or so. We might have got 3, and it's already mostly gone. Michelle, myself, and the kids, we went out and played in the snow this morning. Come back in, ate a great big breakfast. It's been a pretty good day. They canceled church today. I believe we could have made it, but they canceled it anyways. The real Billings Family Farms, the real first gen farmer. Hello, gentlemen. Glad to have you with us. Gordon says he just got power back on at the farm. Was it was it bad enough to knock the power out? Is the light better like that?
Yeah, I guess.
How's that? Is the lighting better, guys? We can't turn on the light back here because it puts a glare on stuff. Matt says the snow was as disappointing as his cotton crop. I think it's the daggum camera on the laptop.
I want to say, Matt, I wanted to see you run the CP690. Watch the whole video and then even get to see him run it.
He knew better than to run it because he
knows he wants one now.
We got Grayson with us. He's a regular. Glad to have you with us, Grayson. So what we are doing today is Robert actually requested for me to do this, not the live stream part, but he wanted I made 2 videos about 2 years ago now. It was farm pictures 2009 through 2016, and then farm pictures 2016 to 2020. I made 2 videos with old farm pictures, and Robert wanted me to do that with the clips from this year. And I'd kind of rather do that with pictures because it's easier to string together. But since we've gone to YouTubing, we've got a whole lot of video footage, but we don't take as many pictures anymore. So we put I went through over 20 hours of footage that we had filmed this year. And no, I did not have all that on my laptop. I can actually go in and re-download my videos from YouTube. They're not as in a good of quality. They're in like 1080p versus I've started working toward putting my videos out in 4K. The last couple of ones have been in that. I'm working towards that. I'm still learning on that. But if you haven't seen those videos, and after the premiere goes off, I'll try to link them in the description of our newest video. But that was Farm Pictures 2009 to 2016. And just type in Dylan Joyce Farms Farm Pictures, and then Farm Pictures 2016 to 2020. And if y'all do that, you will see how far our farm has come in approximately a 10-year, uh, 10-year,
time period.
yeah. Any updates on your planter coming for this spring? We are going to be running the same planter we have been in the past. We have, or you might have been talking to somebody else, but anyways, our planter this year, we are going to be running the same planter we have in the past. We do have to put new disc openers on it this year, but other than that, it should be ready to go. I have talked about in previous videos maybe upgrading planters, but we're gonna keep running this one for now. We did add some ground this year, and it could be quite a bit of ground. I'll elaborate on that in future videos, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. But if we do get behind, I'm limited to my planter on planting corn, but if we do get behind, I can run 2 planters. Oh, no.
We have a surprise.
Nobody cares about these puppies.
We have a surprise.
All right. Nobody cares. All right, y'all go
Look
on.
at this cute baby. Full blood Australian Shepherd.
Nobody cares about them dogs. Go home. Luke Thomas says he's a farmer. We always enjoy when other farmers watch us. Kelly Griggs says she has over 9,000 farm pictures. I would not want to sort through that many pictures. Really enjoy our channel. Thank you. Go. Grayson said that he saw my wife and corn dog yesterday at Cotton's. They love to get up and eat breakfast on Saturday mornings. Me personally, I'd rather sleep in. Jordan wants to know how much ground we picked up. I don't know for sure on that one farm. We hadn't been able to map it off to tell the acres, but at least 30 to 35 acres for sure. And possibly another 70. So that's that. See, what happened to the new Freightliner truck y'all got at the auction? Well, it's actually a Sterling truck with a 450 horsepower Mercedes engine in it, and we have it currently hooked to our water trailer right now, and the future water trailer is hooked to the Sterling. Hopefully we will finish that up tomorrow. I worked on it for 5 hours yesterday afternoon. That was a solo mission. Robert abandoned me.
I was out of town.
He was out of town. But all I've got left to do, I've got to hook my mixing cone up, and I've got to hook my hose reel up to my mixing cone. The pump is halfway plumbed. We've got to work on plumbing the mixing cone, hooking the rinse nozzles up, and that's and I got to put my ladder on. I've got my ladder built. I've just got to make the hinges. Uh, I just got to make the hinges for it and bolt it up to the trailer. We got William with us. He's a regular. He says hi to the whole family. Everybody likes puppies.
Kelly wants one now.
Well, if you're interested in a full-blooded Australian Shepherd, my sister has 12 of them, and I do not know how much she wants for them, but that female dog she originally had like
15. I think.
Had 15, and 3 died.
Yeah.
If I wasn't, I would have showed y'all the puppies if I wasn't in here acting a fool. But see, the vet told my sister that dogs are supposed to like self-regulate how many puppies they have, and for some reason this one didn't, and she had to
supplement.
Yeah, she had to like take a
syringe and
give them some extra milk and feed the dog, the mother dog, extra food. But looks like 12 of them's going to make it all the way to adulthood.
Be ready in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Billings Family Farms wants to know, will you go over your in-furrow program or fertilizer program recommendations and return on investment? The in-furrow program is, I don't know. We've debated on cutting the in-furrow program. Sometimes, some years in-furrow pays big. Some years it don't. I thought for sure that it would pay off this year, and because we had a super wet and cold spring, but we just never saw a real return this year. Now, we done a test plot one year and done an in-furrow and then checks, and it was a 10 bushel advantage on the in-furrow application. We typically put down 5 gallons of we've been running a 7-15-15 mix in furrow. And when I say in furrow, what we are talking about is, all right, you've got your seed trench and it places the seed down in the bottom. And then we have some seed firmers that push the seed down in the bottom, but it also squirts liquid fertilizer in the edge of the seed furrow. So when that plant initially sets roots, it takes the fertilizer up right that moment. And we normally run, like I said, 5 gallons to the acre of a 7-15-15 plus a quart of zinc per acre. I really like putting the zinc in furrow. We done a lot of testing with fungicides and insecticides, and a new product called Toggle. The new product called Toggle, I think I saw some benefits to it, but it needs further testing. The fungicide in furrow, if you've got a good seed treatment on it, I don't think there's any advantage to it. I do like the insecticide in furrow. I think it did. A good job. Nelson wants to know if we got tires for the truck. We have not. just something that ain't been on our mind. We had a really pretty week last week. So we was outside working on things that had to be done outside on the water trailer just because it is so big. And we've got it backed up in the shop, and it takes up lots of room in the shop. Hopefully, new shed deal. Hopefully, get the new shed in a week or two. Since we've built this water trailer, we have got to have another shed to back this water trailer in, because there's just no way that it's going to fit in the shop. It's going to be aggravating to come in the shop and back it in. So we've got to put up a new shed. IB Trail Rider wants to know how's the weather. We got just a little bit of snow, but it's about gone. Avlia, is that how to say it? Thomas says, are we going to see a video? She loves tractors and pigs. Or no, he says he's a guy. Hey, spell out how to pronounce your name for me. He said he's a country boy and that's how he grew up. Thanks for always. Well, we don't do a lot. We just make videos of what we do every day. We got Gerald Farms from South Carolina. We're glad to have you. Richard Vance from Mississippi. Glad to have you. Matt says to try some micro knock in our seed box. It'll beat in furrow most years for about $5 an acre. How about a free sample? Got a free sample. Got Michael with us. He's a regular. Glad to see you. Evan says he's love to see the end of year farm tour. Well, it ain't really a farm tour, but we've put a little video together for y'all showing from January 1st to December 31st of the year 2021. It's at the music, no talking, just clips through the year. So we will be in when we get some of these projects wrapped up and get this shed up and get every kind of thing kind of back to the house. Well, we do finally got it back to the house. We went and picked up the track hoe yesterday, day before last, Friday before the snow. But when we kind of get everything settled, I am going to make an updated equipment tour video because there has been quite a bit of change since our last farm equipment tour video. Kelly wants to know if we're going to the National Farm Machinery Show in February. We plan to go. It's always crowded. I bet it's going to be super crowded this year, Benz. You didn't. We're going to take Walt with us. This is his last year to be able to go before he's got to go to school. So he was supposed to go. We were supposed to go and take him 2 years ago. He got sick and spent a week in the hospital with a respiratory sickness. And then last year
they didn't have it.
They was canceled because of the COVID. I don't think we'll go. We always try to get there the first 2 days.
Yeah.
We went there one time on we couldn't get, for some reason, we couldn't get up there during the week, and we went up there on a Friday and a Saturday, and by then the vendors have talked to so many people, they're not really interested in talking to you. So normally what we do is go up on Tuesday. Sometimes we'll stop at the Corvette Museum on the way up there and go through the Corvette Museum. We don't do that every year. That's probably about every 2 or 3 year deal. we'll stop and tour the Corvette Museum and get up there Tuesday night, eat supper, tour the farm show Wednesday and Thursday night, and then come home Fridays, what we normally do. I always try to eat some good food. We normally eat at the Joe's Crab Shack up there.
Go to the Hooters.
Yeah, we may or may not have been to. It's the Hooters over in Indiana.
Yeah, it's the Indiana side.
And we go over to the Hooters and have some drinks. And when I have no, I have not bought the wireless mics yet. I have not pulled the trigger on that yet. I'm thinking on it. Grayson wants to know when we are going to post the 2021 pictures. That will be directly after this live stream. That will premiere at 5 o'clock. You have 36 minutes until that hits.
RP wanted to know some preferable prefab shed for the trailer.
Yes, it is a metal prefab building. That's the cheapest option we have found. We can put it up ourselves and save quite a bit of money. And it's going to be a 48 wide by 40 long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to, and the way we built it so you could cheapen it up, it's actually a 24 by 40, and then it's got two 12-foot lean-tos over there on each side. And the 12-foot lean-tos is where the water trailer is going to go in one of those 12-foot lean-tos. And then some stuff, like we're going to move the grain cart out of the main shop and put it down there.
And try to get the hopper bottoms.
We're going to try to get these hopper bottoms under the shed and try to get the trucks under the shed. That's
and the disc.
And we want to get the only real important things that are sitting out right now that should be under the cover is, well, it's a lot of things when you think about it. You got I'd like to get my disc under the shed, my duo under the shed. Old Blue sits in the shed most of the time in the winter, but it really ties up our working space. In a perfect world, it would be nice to have a shed, and I would like to build a shop just for working, have it insulated real well, a big hydraulic door, and just be able to pull one piece of equipment in at a time to be able to work on it. Zachary Cole says we need a WD-40 sponsorship for Robert's chair.
Yeah, I know.
We are not much on. We're limited on space here. I'm not really that much on WD-40. They do have one product called WD-40 Blue Torch. Ain't that what it's called?
Yeah.
We've had pretty good luck with it. If we're want to use something cheap, we normally use PB Blaster. Napa Motor Parts and Burns have got a can. If we're after something tough, it's called Freon.
Yeah.
And we've had pretty good luck out of it. I'm going to let you answer some questions.
Are you going to post a video of building the shop? I'm looking to build me one before spring this year. Yeah, I'm sure we'll put one up.
There's not much we do that we don't put videos of up.
That was priceless. You both waving her out of the room with the dogs. Yeah, I guess all moms embarrass people. I guess that's their job. WD-40 is awesome on removing duct tape glue off combine side panels. I was wondering
Robert actually made that comment when y'all showed putting the Christmas lights on there.
I didn't know about you duct taping.
Robert's
pulling off that red paint.
Robert's exact comment was, "That's going to be hell to come off." I can't believe Matt done that.
Yeah,
that was his exact comments.
PB Blaster is what I use on ratchet binders.
The only thing I don't like about PB Blaster is it stinks to all get out.
Kelly said don't use the cheap duct tape. Yeah, I bet them big wins. I bet it was heck on them Christmas lights trying to keep them on there. Tap on.
All right, guys. Anybody got any questions for me?
Have to use the all-weather duct tape, Kelly says. Yeah, I imagine so.
I don't know anything about duct tape. We don't use a lot of it. You know what has replaced duct tape on our farm? We have started using, which I don't guess it would work to put those lights on the side panel of the combine. But especially if we're wrapping something, we have gone to using that tape that you use to put drainage pipe and stuff together. We're gonna use that because you can, man, that stuff is sticky and works great.
How did our crops do last fall?
Well, we missed one.
Oh, we did.
Kelly said, "Are we gonna have piggies this year?" Of course, I've got 13 in the barn right now. I've got 2 scheduled to go to the butcher February 3rd, and then I can put your name on the next one if you would like. How did our crops do last fall? We had the best wheat crop we've ever had the best corn crop we've ever had, and had the second worst bean crop we ever had. So I don't guess we can complain about 2 out of 3. This 32 days without rain, and August just killed our soybean yields. I did cut some good soybeans. I cut one field that averaged 73. But when you've got 175 acres of wheat beans that don't make but 35, it's a killer on the average. But man, I mean, far as making money, we probably made the most we ever have this year. I probably should have. I thought I had spent enough, but it looks like I should have spent a little more before the first of the year. But well, you got to just remember about rolling them taxes. It's gonna catch up with you sooner. It's gonna catch up with you sooner or later. I wish they wouldn't be so hard on us on taxes, and I could just put that money in my bank account and save it for emergencies. But if I don't, the government wants a big chunk of it. Your name is on it. Ben says zip ties have become his duct tape. We use a lot of duct tape. Zip ties. If you looked at our farm service truck video, you would know we use so many zip ties that we even made fancy zip tie holders, so we have easy access to it. And the reason we built that is we used to carry our zip ties down in the bottom of the toolbox, and they was always all over the bottom of the toolbox, and you never did pick up the right one.
Billings, he wants to know, did you all like your old Vanguard monitor, or would you spend the money and go to the Loop? We liked our old Vanguard. It did a really good job. The only reason we went to the Loop is so we could use, so it would hook up with the field view in the cab, and we could document our varieties. And also you could use the Loop as a yield monitor and a planter monitor. But we took the old Vanguard monitor and put it in the 4650 this year, and planted beans with it and used it on the drill. Dylan planted corn with the loop monitor on the planter, and I used the old Vanguard on the drill on beans. But the only reason we went to the loop was, like I said, so we could use the field view and better document stuff. But the Vanguard, it was a really good monitor.
It depends on what you what you're wanting to do and to accomplish. For just seed monitoring alone, you're not going to beat the old Vanguard. I've actually had 2 Vanguard monitors. I had an older one that the original one I started off with when I built my first planter in 2012, and then I bought a newer one. And the reason we had 2 was we had one in each tractor, and we had 2 tractors that we could pull the drill with. I can only pull my planter with the one because it's got so many monitors and controls. But for just plain seed monitoring at an economical price, it is hard to beat the Vanguard. Now, for the price, it is hard to beat the loop if you are wanting to do any documentation. And the reason we bought that was we could hook the loop up to Climate Field View, log all our varieties. Anything we've done, we could log with the loop. And that's the main reason we went to it. You could use it as a planter monitor or a yield monitor. And you don't have to have the Climate Field View to document with the loop. It will map all that information to an SD card, and then you can pull it up in your software of choice on your computer. But I like the Climate Field View because we can see things in real time, and I've always wanted to have the colored map up there when I'm combining and stuff, and I can drop flags on problem areas in the field and type out what's wrong with that area. It's just the sky's the limit on what you can do with the loop and the climate, I think.
Matt wants to know, when were we thinking about fertilizing wheat?
Our wheat is so big and rank. I'm actually thinking about holding off for a little while longer. I noticed it's starting to lose its real dark green color, but it's so big and rank. I'm not really wanting to jump start it yet. I look back on it, actually popped up on my Facebook memories yesterday. Yeah, January the 15th. We put nitrogen out on wheat this time last year. Do you remember that?
I knew it was early, but I didn't think it was up.
We run, and it was good and dry.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to hold us up now. It says, Dylan, do you prefer no-till planting or working up your ground a little? I'd rather no-till it if I can. I kind of broke that a little bit this year. This flat ground, we ended up working it up to get it to dry.
No-till your hills, work your bottoms.
Yeah,
your flat ground.
That's about the conclusion we've come to. I just hadn't, the flat ground, these creek bottoms and stuff, I hadn't had a lot of luck no-tilling them. Things have got to be right, but we get so caught up in this way's right and this way's wrong. And I've said this in the previous video. You just got to find what works for your farm and go with it. What works for you may not work for me. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in my way's right and your way's wrong. You can make any system that you want to work if you set your mind to it. But I really like no-tilling my hills, and I'll even no-till the bottom ground if things are right. But if it's a little sticky, our experience has taught us that we need to work it. We see a little yield bump when we work the flatter, wetter natured ground, and that's my opinion. And like I said, there's no wrong or right way. It's just what makes you money on your farm.
Was the Corvette Museum the same place that a Cinco took a bunch of vets? Yeah, that's the same place. They even got a display on it and even got it marked off on the ground where it showed the Cinco and even got the vets that they pulled out of the Cinco in there.
Yeah, the insurance company wouldn't repair some of the vets because they said it cost more. And some of these are, I mean, like, well, they're not priceless, but
Real special.
very special, high-dollar cars, and the insurance companies would not repair them. But they left them on repair there at the Corvette Museum, and they got a video of them falling through the floor. If if you haven't been, you need to go see it. It doesn't really cost a lot, does it?
No,
And it's a cool thing to it's a very cool thing to see. If you've never been to the Corvette Museum, I really recommend it.
Are we gonna get an 8-row corn head this year? Probably no. We just talked about that a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of days ago. Since we got this other truck, probably. But like Dylan said, if there's a deal on one, we probably might snatch it up.
I've spent a lot of Grace and I have spent a lot of money from about July 2021 to we bought a trackhoe, a low boy, a semi truck, and a hopper bottom. I'm not really wanting to spend much more money at this point, but I will say that if I run across an 8-row header and it's a deal, I will buy it. But it's got to be a sure enough good deal. I am not out actively looking for an 8-row header at this moment. But if I run across a deal, it's a possibility.
Would we ever get into peanuts? No, probably not. Just because there's no market around here. And can we get the Dylan Joyce Farms official opinion on a list or dicamba? No pressure. We'll just say this: we're going all in list.
So, yeah, we're all in.
Going in list this year.
We're all in list this year. Mostly.
The dicamba worked, but it's just so much.
Lots of
regulations, and you can't do this and do that. But
which now I'll say this: we planted both extend and enlist varieties this year. All the extend beans were my early full season beans, and I really like them. I think they've got a lot of yield bred into them. But we didn't even spray any Ingenia on them, just because I didn't want to deal with all their regulations. Our program was we run Roundup and Zidua Pro behind the drill. And Zidua Pro is a premix of Pursuit, Zidua, and Syncor. And then we came back about 3 weeks later when the beans was about like this, right around that third trifoliate slightly before, with a shot of Roundup and a quarter prefix. And they were the cleanest beans we've ever had.
Yeah, they was no pigweeds, but we might could have went back and hit them with a shot of Roundup, had some grass. But
they wasn't ate up with grass. They didn't give no trouble cutting or nothing.
No, just spots.
Just spots. But extend beans really have a lot of yield. That's like that Pioneer 48 A60 bean. There ain't nothing out there gonna beat that bean that I've seen. Cropland 4825 was a real good one for us, but we're swapping to the enlist, and we're gonna have a few Pioneer enlist beans, but we're mostly gonna be Stein enlist. I really liked what I saw out of them. I mean, they didn't really have a fair chance because they went 32 days without rain, but Uh,
The one farm where they did get like a tenth and a half, they did good.
yeah, I think they're gonna. I think they have yield to them, and a whole lot simpler. A whole lot simpler herbicide program. Not don't have to deal with near the regulations on spraying enlist. And our program was Roundup and Zidua Pro behind the drill, and Roundup and what was it? A pint of enlist.
I think so.
Enlist one uh, away. Post emerge, and we this I will say this is cleanest bean crop we've ever had. But we've been fighting pigweed a long time. We've been out pulling. We've I think a lot of us we've swapped up chemistry so much. We was Liberty Link a long time back when Liberty was still really Liberty used to be a horse on spraying. Before it was Liberty, it was called Ignite down here in the South, and then they swapped to Liberty. But we was Liberty several years, and that put a dent in them. And then we swapped to Extends because we was tired of getting dicamba drift. It wasn't hurting our yields none, but we was that, and we was just ready to change up chemistries a little bit and change up things a little bit. We did spray Ingenia 1 year on our worst fields, and then now we're making the swap to enlist. But we've swapped up chemistries a lot of different pre-emerges and things. And when we see a pigweed, go out there and pull it. And I think that's made all the difference. We had like I said, we had the cleanest crop we've ever had this year.
Would y'all ever go into cotton? We're going to leave that to Matt and Kelly.
New cotton. Everybody, I think from what I'm hearing, the whole world's going to be planting to it next year. Up above $1 a pound, I think. And
do you see your farm buying bigger tractors in the future? Yeah. Well, if we did get one, it'd probably be a front wheel assist tractor. But
why do we need a bigger tractor?
No, I mean them tractors we got do everything.
They do everything we do. I mean, we work more ground now than we ever have, and get done earlier than we ever do. I can't explain it. I look back on my Facebook memories. I think it's because things are a little better maintained and better shape than they used to be. But we work more acres now than when we first started, and we get done planting earlier and get done harvesting earlier than we used to. Which I think a lot of it's running that daggum planter and that drill at the same time. You ain't covering quite twice the acres because that drill is only 15 foot, but you can shag across it.
Are you and Robert gonna do any more hee-haw jokes? Yeah, if we get a cornfield planted, we'll do some more hee-haw jokes.
I can't think. We got to look up. We got to think of some more. I hadn't planted the A64s yet, which I don't guess we are since we're swapping to enlist. But it's good to hear people with real world experience that's actually planted these varieties instead of somebody just taking somebody's word for it. I like a John Deere 7810. I actually, when I was working for the farmer, before I went out on my own, he actually had a 7800 John Deere with a power quad transmission in it. It was a 2-wheel drive. It was a really nice tractor. I really enjoyed driving it. It'd make a sweet little planter tractor. But if I was going to have to pick between an 8400 or a 7810, I'd pick the 8400 all day. That command arm on the 8400s, and you got the more frame weight, more horsepower, bigger hydraulic pumps. Just to me, everything about the 8400 is better than the 7810. To me, the 7810s was really good tractors, but to me, the frame was just way too light for the size horsepower it was pulling. Which, no, 7800 I ran. No, it wasn't but a 21-foot disc I was pulling with it, but it ran off with it. And that guy I was working for, he actually pulled, he was on 20-inch rolls. What did he have? Was it a 20 roll? He pulled a 20 roll, 24-inch. I mean, 20 roll, 20-inch planter with it for years.
I'm sure it had liquid. Did it have liquid?
Yeah, it had liquid fertilizer on it and the whole shebang. No, we're not involved in any state soybean or corn growers associations. I don't really know how I feel about them. Robert's wanting us to enter some kind of soybean yield contest. We had one field, probably would have done that 73-acre field, probably would have done pretty good. But one thing about it was just it was only a 6-acre field, and one you had to have a minimum of 10 acres.
Yeah.
And it was an old hog lot. But nah, I ain't got no desire to get involved in any of that. I'm kind of I know it probably don't seem like it on YouTube, but I'm kind of an antisocial person.
We would have. That bottom of Wilson's probably would have done good in the corn contest.
No, yeah, they done good. There's this one farm I got rented, and it is a little 14-acre field beside a creek, and it always makes good corn. I mean, it always averages over 200, but it's some of the highest corn yields I've ever seen in my life. Ask Robert. He was running the buggy. I ran him to death.
Yeah, I couldn't keep up.
And I ran him to death. And I'll just say this: that yield, and yes, my yield monitor was calibrated. Now, some people run down yield monitors, but if they're calibrated, they're a great tool. But I went for long stretches that my yield monitor never dropped below 300 bushel. But we don't have much what I call ice cream dirt in West Tennessee. And but that is one of the places that we've got it. It was just unbelievable. It's one of them farms where you feel like you feel closer to God chilling it. You're like, thank you, Lord. 12-row KMC Ripper Breeder with an 8410. I bet she was still loaded though. Are we utilizing hog manure in our fertilizer program? No, we ain't got. We got a little red clay ground on some of these old red hills, but not a lot.
Well, on our hog manure, we did load it up in our dirt pan and went and dumped it in some ditches.
Yeah,
we're trying to get them ditches that have washed, and that we've scraped dirt on. Took that dirt pan and dumped that hog manure on it and tried to help.
Yeah, but it is set in a pile and had been composted. It wasn't just raw manure, because technically, I don't think you're supposed to put manure in a waterway. But it had been composted, and we took him and flattened the bottoms of the ditches out, and then we spread that hog manure in there, because you think about what a ditch is. People will take a disc or something and work it in where you're pulling all your topsoil into the ditch. Well, it's just loose soil sitting there on a hard pan. Well, you get a rain, it washes your topsoil down the ditch, and you constantly doing this. Well, pretty soon all you're left with is subsoil. And when we took my grandmother's farm over there was some pretty good sized ditches on it, and we have worked and we have worked and we have worked, and we have finally got that farm about straightened up. And the main thing with the ditch is you have got to get the bottom perfectly flat. If you don't, that water's going to find a V and it's going to go down it and cut it back out. But we put that hog manure in that and done our waterways, and man, it come to life. But as far as producing hog manure, we run about the max on hogs we've ever run through our barn is 30 hogs in a year. We're not producing a lot. We're producing a pretty good amount of manure, but just not enough to spread over a field and do any good. Uh, what would be my idea combine? I'm pretty partial to my little 9400. I really like it. Sometimes I wish I bought a 9500 just for the simple fact we'd had the bigger 7.6 liter engine. But I really like my little combine. Which if y'all have watched our videos, y'all know that we are meticulous about that combine. It might not always be the cleanest and the prettiest, but the working parts of that combine are going to be in tip top shape. I'm not going to go to the field and run a piece of equipment that is not, well, we've run some. I want stuff to be a good 95% when we go to the field with it, but no, I pretty much want stuff to be 100%, 100% when I go to the field with it. When there's times when you're out in the field and there's a rain coming or something, and you've got to make a repair just to get by. That's but I want my stuff to be 100%. My pipes they're doing good. Me and Robert wished we hadn't. By the time we got through putting all that stupid black pipe together, wished we had just went on and spent about the extra $1 a foot and went to Atwood and picked that green pipe up and put together. I really wished Adam had some in stock. I like dealing with Adam. I like helping him out. He's always been real good to us, been real nice to us, and I like to support people like that. My dream tractor. Well, I'm running my dream tractor. I guess that 4640 I plan on. I grew up on that tractor. I literally grew up on that tractor. My granddaddy designed a seat for me to sit in when I was little on it, and that's my favorite tractor. And even if we do buy another tractor in the future, I don't see none of them 4640s going nowhere, for the simple fact that 4640 I plant with has been in my family since that tractor was brand new. He bought it brand new in 1981. He retired in 1994. When I kind of started trying to farm in 2006, got really serious about it in 12. So, that tractor sat in the barn, very light duty work for about 10 years, real light duty work. And it was, when I started farming, that tractor didn't have but 3,400 hours on it, and it's got over 5,500 hours now. But the next tractor we will probably buy, if we do buy one, will be an 8,000 series John Deere tractor. I'll let you give advice for a beginning farmer.
Any advice from each of you individually for a beginning farmer? Well, I'll say this from my point of view. I bought my farm. This is the second year I've actually had my own crop, and I gotta say, from my point of view, is don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid to go talk to your banker, and don't be because before that I was afraid to ask for money and stuff like that, and really didn't know how to go about all that. But just don't be afraid, and listen to everybody. Some older farmers that luckily I had Dylan and some other guys to help me along, and never be afraid to learn something new. Never be afraid to take a chance, and it'll all work out.
If you do got to borrow money responsibly.
Yeah, don't go out and
Just because you got good credit and they'll give that you loan they'll loan you the money don't mean you should take it.
I think you may have a loan amount of 50,000, but that don't mean you got to borrow all of it.
Yeah, that don't. If say you got a credit line of 50,000, that don't mean you got to use every bit of it. Just because a lot of people got in. There are some people got in trouble with that back when times was good. They would just like Farm Credit was knocking on my door like, hey, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, and so on and so forth. And when times got a little tougher, they kind of started running backwards on some people. I mean, I'm not running down Farm Credit. That's who I deal with, and they do me right. But just be responsible. If you got to borrow money, put in a crop, be responsible with it. Don't try to take on too much at one time. Grow slowly. I mean, if you see a big opportunity and you make it pencil, probably do it, but just don't be going out actively seeking a bunch of stuff because you can overload your wagon before you know it. That's it. It's 5 o'clock. So, guys, I'm going to jump over here I'm going to jump over. I will meet y'all over on the premiere, and if you want to, you can chat with me. We'll discuss these questions some more, and we'll discuss these questions some more if you want to talk about something different. But I will meet y'all over on the live stream, and I'll meet y'all over on the premiere. Yeah. See you guys.
Stay classy, San Diego. Oh.